Can you imagine a place where brilliance, creativity, technology, and the highest amount of unity and togetherness converges into one geographical location? Selflessness, love, excitement, energy are all a part of this place. Business, commerce, jobs, and progress are all a part of this place. Yes, that is the Innovation District. A professor from the University of Michigan has said that the Innovation District clusters educated, technologically savvy individuals with creative and high-tech industries in an amenity-rich environment to create a seamless and holistic live, work, and play laboratory. Potential unleashed. It is our potential together that is unleashed in unimaginable ways. This is a technologically savvy place where people of all races and classes and cultures come together to enjoy life together. Can you imagine a place where already 74,000 jobs and 4,100 companies are already placed where it calls home? Can you imagine a place where it's already being recognized, where a mall is literally about to be redeveloped to the tune of $1 billion? This is a place where all of this will converge, and everyone of every hue and every background will love to come and smile and link arms and work together and create beautiful masterpieces of tech, art, creativity, and yes, family. And would you imagine that an innovation district would literally be one of the first places where Tesla can be used for public transportation? In addition to that, did you know that IP was listed as the #2 top location nationally, competing with places like Silicon Valley for tech entrepreneurs, according to Entrepreneur Magazine? Well, guess what, everybody? You don't have to imagine anymore. IP is here. It's here, it's now, it's potential unleashed.
Magnetic District. There are well over 200 businesses, nonprofits, and individuals working together towards seeing the potential unleashed for this area. Tonight, we will see where that potential is already being realized and how much more there is to unleash. I want to recognize a couple of my colleagues on the Tampa IP Executive Board who are with us tonight. Mr. Chris Bowen, Chief Development Strategist at the RD Management. Chris? There you are, okay. And Mr. Stuart Clark, President of Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, and Adventure Island. There's Stuart. I want to really thank all of you for coming out tonight to collaborate and celebrate the reimagining of the IP area. I'd also like to thank the Crossover Church for opening their doors to us tonight and playing such an active role in all the IP efforts. As well, thank you to Happenings by Cambria and the Tampa Bay Food Truck Rally for making this evening possible. Yeah. Applaud that. It's great. And as I mentioned, there are over 200 individuals and organizations involved in the Tampa IP mission, and there are many ways to make a difference. Here to tell you more about membership in the Tampa IP is Pastor Christopher Harris.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. On behalf of our lead pastor, Pastor Tommy Colonin, we want to welcome you to our home, really our second home. He and I spend so much time here. Sometimes it gets confusing about which home is more of a priority, but we're very glad to have you here. Really quickly, this idea for this event was born out of the need to help understand and have clarity on what it means to be not just a member of an organization, but family, right? Community. And so there's three quick ideas that I believe helps encapsulates this, and we're going to show you a video here in just a moment. But every great organization starts off with vision. Every great organization starts off with vision. Let me give you a couple quotes of some ideas here that were shared with vision. Warren Bennis, who is an incredible leadership guru and author, said this: a vision is not just a picture of what could be, it is an appeal to our better selves, a call to become something even more than we are now. He said, leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Helen Keller, we all know who she is, she said, the only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time, and vision with action can literally change the world. You are a part of IP, not to just add another thing to your resume, not to just represent your organization, but you're literally a part of IP to literally change our world. So you believe in the vision. It's a part of your head, your mind. But where does it go next from your head and your mind? It should then move to your heart. When it moves to your heart, you begin to belong to a family. And it is impossible to belong to a family and not participate in that family. It's impossible to belong to a family and not participate in that family. So then where do we go next? We literally allow that to cause us to become something. Then that moves to our hands and our feet. Action follows what's in our heart and what's in our head. And so a part of you here tonight, a part of the reason why you're here tonight is because we want to activate your hands and your feet to the vision that you already have said you believe in. One of the greatest ways that I can show that to you is, of course, to bring it right here home to Crossover Church. Some of you may have seen some signs coming in the door of this notion called Love Our City. It was an idea that was born here in our church about 2 years ago. And literally, we have shared the vision with people, and that vision moved from their head to their heart and then to their hands and their feet. And so now as a church and as an organization, we don't have to work hard at selling the vision because now they sell the vision themselves. So take a quick look at this, and I think you'll get the idea.
However young you are, you have a responsibility to seek to make your nation a better nation in which to live. You have a responsibility to seek to make life better for everybody. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the host of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by signs that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are.
I get to follow Martin Luther King. My name is Mark Sharp. I'm the Executive Director of Tampa IP, and I want to thank you all for taking the time to come out here this evening. This is a membership event that is meant to educate you collectively as to all that we're doing, but also to inspire you. And I think some of the videos that you've seen really create that inspiration to light a fire and make a big difference in this university area. I want to first thank Jack Koloski, who really was one of the original forces behind creating what was originally Tampa Innovation Alliance back in 2011. And it took a lot of vision and foresight for Moffitt and the University of South Florida, Busch Gardens. They were the original three, and Florida Hospital quickly joined to create the anchors that would create the partnership that would collectively begin to transform the university area into something that we know it could be. So Jack, thank you very much for helping to begin this effort and seeing and the individuals that live in our community, all the wealth and the value of these individuals and people and what can be. And we know that this area can be a lot. And so we're very excited. And I want to thank you. I want to thank our other anchors. Then the University Mall, I want to say then, but then the University Mall joined as one of our anchors. And that was 2 years ago. And a lot of exciting things are going to happen at what was the mall and what we believe will soon be the Uptown. And we have new members. In fact, from our organization, which was created in 2011, and I and our team joined in 2013, we've grown to over 200 members. And part of the challenge is communicating and having all the members here and talk to each other. And I want to thank Sarah Combs, who is the Executive Director of the University Area Community Development Corporation, who was a key ally and partner. She's on our board, we serve on her board, but you're going to find in this room a lot of partners who collectively work together so that we can achieve great things. I don't hate to spill the beans, but even on one great collaborative opportunity, which involved the University Mall and the UACDC, and this area being designated as an opportunity zone. Now, we should applaud that, yes. And I know that they're back there going, where is he going? And that's not on the slides. And we do have a PowerPoint that we're going to run through rapidly. But that opportunity zone designation is enormous. It's going to open up trillions of dollars in investment opportunity and capital that will be directed towards the opportunity zone. And to the great credit of the mall owners who saw that opportunity, understood that it was going to be decided relatively quickly, and then Chris pulled together a team in the county, Hillsborough County, and I want to thank, they jumped immediately, and Rebecca Hessinger's in the back. Wave, Rebecca. So again, the partnership, the IP partnership, we work together as a team, UACDC giving a lot of incredibly important data, Hillsborough County, and many, many others. And so the designation was made today. I hope I'm not spilling any beans. I've looked on TBO and TampaBay.com, haven't seen anything yet, but you will. And that's going to be important for this area as we do the redevelopment. So we'll go ahead and speed through these slides, which I have no control over. But what you'll see behind me is the analytical, this is what we want to do. We want to eat some food and sit here and look at slides at analytical studies that were done. But it's important to know that the basis of this organization is derived from a lot of work that was done by a lot of different institutions and groups. And in fact, when I was a county commissioner back in 2009, when we were looking at some projects we were partnering with Moffitt on, we had just completed the collaborative between Moffitt and Merck and the creation of M2 Gen, which is on McKinley Avenue, and that partnership, not only saving lives, but developing relationships with institutions all over the country, and then just recently announced a partnership with Hearst Foundation for $75 million, which is just the beginning of what is going to be an incredibly exciting partnership. And M2 Gen asked a very important question. Where are we going to put this new entity called M2 Gen? Where will it be? Will it be in the university area? Will it be someplace else? And the county was able to convince, through a lot of hard work, Moffett, that it was worthy of putting that institute right here. And that's important to every one of us in the room for a lot of reasons. Many of us have family members who have suffered from cancer or are right now dealing with this issue. But also because we knew that the partners that they would bring with them a lot of value. They would bring doctors and scientists and patients and business partners that would come here and over time create new business opportunity and lift the area up. It was one investment that the county understood was important, and in 2007, the county invested approximately $15 million plus the property, and now we have M2Gen. And so it's those type of collaborative partnerships which, from that point forward, we realized we have something very special in the university area. A great University of South Florida, a hospital, Florida Hospital, part of the Adventist hospital system, and one of the most important hospital systems in the nation. A theme park. Who gets to say when they talk about innovation districts that they've got roller coasters and all sorts of cool things? We do. I always like it when we talk about our innovation district because we got roller coasters and we've got lions and tigers and bears and all those other cool things at the Busch Gardens. 15,000 people a day approximately will visit Busch Gardens. They come to our area. They come to our home. What do they see when they come here? Well, we're about improving that, working together to create that partnership so that the experience that they get when they get in the park, they also have when they're coming to the park or leaving. We want them to have a wonderful experience in this area. So we're thrilled that Busch Gardens was a member. And then the University Mall. Once again, when I was growing up, I went to Dunderbeck's, and we did all the things. The mall was the happening place. And then over time, like a lot of malls around the country, you began to see a waning of people attending. But to the credit of the owners, they've come in and they have a new vision. And that vision is to inspire the area and to grow the area and to invest. And so we're going to see some significant investment. But that's all predicated upon a lot of studies. We can rip through that slide. I'm not going to go through the studies. And I will also say, buried in there is work that was done by Kimley Horn to analyze some of the greatest challenges that we face in the university area, that being transportation. And so Clarence Singh, if Clarence would raise his hand and wave, Clarence, yay, is with Kimley Horn, and he agreed with a little bit of coaxing to engage in our organization, to participate with you on the advisory board, and over time to chair the advisory board, but also through our relationship and partnership, began to analyze and study, well, is there an opportunity here to create a transportation network that will begin to transform all of Tampa Bay? And we'll do it right here in the university area. You've heard of the Downtowner, which has been very popular, and as a free ride, which is, the demand is so high for the Downtowner that usually you're waiting 45 minutes to an hour. Well, we're going to create the Uptowner in the university area. I want to say, and I don't know if I guess this is memberships, and I don't know if the West Shore folks are here, but the West Shore folks were looking at it, but we moved first and fast, and now they're looking at the university area for an Uptowner circulation system. And I want to thank Clarence for doing that and helping to lead that, but that came through the study that was done here. I'm supposed to clap my hands, nod my head, dance, or something like that. So what we're creating is this. I love this slide. Kelly Sims, who's here, and Kelly is now the Executive Director of Development for Feeding Tampa Bay, but Kelly was instrumental in helping to bring us together and helping to create some of the vision that we could look at to see when we talk about just who are we. And you can see where our anchors sit, Moffett and Florida Hospital and University of South Florida and the mall and Busch Gardens. And you can see how, and Temple Terrace, just a half mile, well, actually about a mile and a half from where we sit, but about a half mile from the University of South Florida's campus. All of these incredible institutions, which by themselves are powerful. The VA hospital, which will be joining, we hope, our organization relatively soon, have expressed an interest, and so we're talking with the VA now. But when you look at all these institutions, isolated, they're powerful, they're strong, they're good destinations. But united, like anything else, like a team, when you unite and you work together, you become a powerful advocacy force, and that's what we've created here with our organization. Just like the West Shore Alliance, a powerful advocacy force that can now go out and compete for resources that in the past never came here. They'd go to downtown, they'd go to West Shore, they'd go to South County. We wouldn't get those resources. So our mission is to make sure we get those resources, and we can deploy those resources with the amazing anchors that we have here. So what we've done, because I like to do lots and lots of things, and my board said, all right, we're gonna try to control you, and we wanna make you, we're gonna distill down all the things that you wanna do, Mark, into 5 priority areas, which we created. So we created a work program with our priority areas, which was smart on their part, because I would be zipping all over the place. And I feel like I've had 20 cups of coffee already, and I always get charged up and excited with lots and lots of projects. But we worked in business development, job growth and training, placemaking, transportation, and community engagement. So let's rip through those real quick to see some of the things that we've been doing. So on business development, our long-term priorities include the long-term funding plan, which we're building for our organization, VA Hospital, as I mentioned, joining the Community Benefits Agreement, which we're working on, the University Area Community Development Corporation, which we think is going to be a very important piece. I won't get into what the community benefits is today, but it's going to be a component of what we do as we move into the future. So as we develop our partnerships with our anchors and we sit down with the state and others and talk about bringing resources here, part of the return back to the community will be that benefit. And we're going to be sharing that with you and partnering with you on what the benefit should be. Next slide. Job growth and training. I think you saw when you came through here a table that Tracy Ingram, who was, I'm not sure if Tracy's in here right now, there's Tracy's in the back. Tracy's taken over our tech hire program. We received, when we, he deserves that applause. We applied for to be selected under a White House program. At the time, President Obama created what was called tech hire, because the president understood that while we have an explosion in new tech companies, there are a lot of individuals, 17 to 29, who might not have the skills to work in this new and burgeoning industry, tech industry. We want to make sure they have the training necessary. And so, in fact, on the first 20 that were locations that were selected, none were in Florida. So we immediately partnered together. Kathy Castor's team came together. UACDC joined us. We worked with CareerSource. We worked with USF. We worked with HCC. And we got selected as a tech hire community. And with that, $3.8 million were focused on job training. So we have 4 years to train individuals between 17 to 29, 1,000 of them. It's a small number, but it's a start. And when we're attracting tech jobs to the university area, we want to make sure that the people who live in the university area can work in those jobs. So if you want to learn more about tech hire, I would encourage you to go to our webpage, talk with Tracy. If you have a company that's looking for tech employees or internships, I would encourage you to talk to Tracy. We are committed to this program, and we are committed to this area, and we think that tech hire is one great example of just that. We're doing under placemaking a lot of really exciting things. Lighting is very important. We heard that when UACDC would bring their community residents together and ask them about public safety and what concerned them. You like lights, you want to light it up. So we're looking at a gateway project where we're partnering with Tampa Electric. We're partnering with the city of Tampa. In fact, we just got our CAF designation, Community Aesthetics Feature designation. Had no idea what that was, but I knew it was important. You had to have that in order for the state to let us put lights up along Fowler, and particularly at the Fowler Avenue and 275 entrance ramp and exit ramp. So we're starting with Fowler. We're looking at Bush, 2 areas where we hope we can put lights up that will light it up. So when you come into this area, you know you're entering an innovation district, an innovation hub, where something as special is happening. And then we hope as we move down Fowler and we move down Bush, we'll see more lights. I can tell you this, we've been very successful in our conversations with the University of South Florida. We learned they're concerned about Bruce B. Downs and Fowler Avenue. Think about Bruce B. Downs and Fowler Avenue at like 9 o'clock at night. Think about the VA hospital on one side, the university on the other side, Moffitt Cancer sitting right there. Then you move a little bit further to the north and you got Florida Hospital. And it's pitch black, it's dark, it's dangerous. Cars are flying down the road. So we understand that the county has already agreed to now fund lighting for Bruce B. Downs. I don't see them doing this. So that means that we got a yes on the funding for the lighting. All in favor say aye. All right, done. All right, so we got that. We got lighting money, and we know that there's some exciting things that are going to happen that I'm not allowed to spill, so I'm not going to say, but with one of our anchor partners that will involve some really cool things that will make it safer for people to walk and such. But lighting is very important for us, and so we're looking at the university area. We're looking at the Bruce B. Down area. We also want to thank the VA hospital that is putting a light signal at their intersection right there on Bruce B. Down where the VA sits, because we've talked about cars just going so fast we can start to slow cars down with the light signals. So the VA hospital has agreed to do that, which is very important. I think I beat lighting to death. Let's get to transportation priorities. My favorite subject, I could spend an hour talking about it. I think I've got 2 minutes left. Bonnie's shaking her head, no, I don't. I've got 2 minutes. So transportation, we are doing a district circulator. That is important for a number of reasons. We're talking about how do you connect the anchors with a circulator? You're going to University of South Florida, you're a student, you're a professor. You park your car, you spend how much time looking for a parking garage? The space is open, you grabbed it, you cheer, you high five, you call your wife and family and kids and say, I got a parking spot, I'm really thrilled. And I'm not about to leave that parking spot until, I go home at night or I graduate, because I don't want to lose it. So how can you then get from the university campus over to Portillo's or to Busch Gardens if you're a student and you're working at Busch Gardens? And we understand a lot of students at USF do work at Busch Gardens. Well, you hope maybe you can get the Bull Runner. There really is limited access on the Hart. So what we're talking about, did someone shout? Did someone say something about the Bull Runner? We love Bull. What we're talking about is now a circulator that we will use that will connect our anchors so that you can go from point to point to point and not have to use your car. We're going to free up space, we hope, on our roads over time. We're going to provide services for some of our partners, our anchors, who right now have their own system, which we believe we can provide a service that is as good or better, and we'll do it in a way that's unified so that we can all benefit from it. We have approximately, on pledges, and I'm allowed to say this, about $800,000 right now ready to go on an annual basis for that circulator. So we've got Hart as a partner, and they're going to be issuing the RFI and RFP this year. State of Florida, District 7, thank you very much, $270,000 approximately, and Hillsborough County. Along with our anchor partners and even a few individuals who just think this is important and have agreed, including one individual who said he's putting in a significant sum for the circulator. So that's going to be important for us, and I want to thank Clarence for all the work that he's done, but you're going to hear more about that, and that's through the partnerships we're creating. This is all about partnerships. And then our community engagement priorities. Through our relationship with UACDC, and this was really Kelly Sims and her team deserves a tremendous amount of credit for creating the Community Impact Awards, which we now celebrate each year at our Innovation Gathering. This year it'll be September 13th at the USF Research Park, and we have Craig Lindsay as our speaker. We're partnering with the Florida Department of Transportation, District 7. They'll be there with all their signs and stuff talking about all the projects they're doing. But we also have our member and membership engagement. This is one of our events that we're doing, and our partnership with Mort, which we're really proud of. And I'll just close with our accomplishments. And we have many. We're really proud of the circulator, and we haven't launched it yet, but we hope to make the official announcement at our innovation gathering. We got our 501c3 status, which is big because we're dealing with the Internal Revenue Service, and they literally, let's applaud that one. Yay. We are a 501, if you wonder, we are a 501c6. We created a 501c3. The Internal Revenue Service had like one person who worked every other day for the country making these designations. And so it took a long time, but we got the designation. And so we're thrilled because now we have individuals who want to put money into our 501c3 for some really exciting projects. One of them is down there at the bottom, the Community Engagement Lab, which we'll talk about later, not today, but we're really excited about a partnership we have with the University Mall to make that place a location where businesses and individuals can go and partner with USF, partner with all our other anchors, start businesses, come up with cool ideas. We're moving our office into the mall, so we're really excited about being right there. I love it because I've found out that the best shoe stores are in the mall. Yes, they really are. And we're talking to some really cool people about some really cool concepts you heard other parts of Tampa Bay that now are saying, we'd love to be there at the mall. And all the things that I like, I actually was there today. I mean, my wife was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be bad, because I walk through there, I'm buying something. But we're thrilled that we're gonna have our offices there, and we wanna thank USF and Moffitt Cancer for housing us. But our offices will be moving soon. Tech Hire we see as a success. The lighting projects we see as a success. The cell we see as a success. And so that's the map that shows where the circulator will run, although this is still open to a lot of planning, but we will be having this circulator, and we're very excited. And this is the first step towards linking the university area to the downtown area, to the West Shore area, so you won't have to have a car. And you can get around downtown, you can get around the West Shore area, but you can get around the university area, we hope, without having to rely on a vehicle, which is very important. Of course, we got a long ways to go, folks. But the way you start is by putting the step forward. I'm so tired of we started with all the plans and studies. You can do those forever. We're going to do stuff, and we're going to build, and we're going to make some mistakes, but we're going to start. So I'm really excited about where we're starting. And with that, I close. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. My name is Rick Bennett. I work with Florida Blue, and I'm also on the Member Engagement Committee. And we're just going to look at, for a few minutes, at a couple of reasons, maybe why to get involved and some of the ways to get involved. One of the reasons that we get involved, I think one of it is just what you've just heard from Mark. You can see a lot of great things are happening here in the Innovation District. And here's the thing. These things are going to happen, and they're already happening. And a lot of the people that you know, a lot of the people that you come into contact with are going to eventually be excited about it and are eventually going to want to be involved. But here's the thing about, what we do. We can be on the very front end of this. We can be the people who get to say in 5, 10, 20 years, I was there at the beginning. And I put my stake down at the beginning. And so I think that that's one of the things I want to kind of get us to remind ourselves of. If we're members of this group, and we are people who are starting to invest pieces of our lives in this group, what we really need to do is figure out ways that we can become more involved. And so in a moment, we're just going to look at some of the ways that we can become involved, but I just want you to think about like your commitment level to what's happening. And so like for me, part of it, even though I serve on 3 boards here in town, I'm the board chair for one of them. I'm also, on this board, on this advisory board, and have decided to co-chair one of the committees. Why? Because I can tell that there are things that I care passionately about that cannot get done unless I am one of the people that is involved in it. And so I want you to think about, when we look at some of these things, some of the ways that maybe you have passions and you have things that you're good at. And we need you, because the staff here is small. They put in a lot of hours, and they have a high level of commitment. But they cannot do it without the volunteers. So what we're going to do is just look at a couple of the ways that you can be involved. There's really just there's a few. And then Pastor Christopher is going to get up and he's going to tell us a little bit more about like some of the details of it. But if you can see, we have the Member Engagement Committee. And so the Member Engagement Committee, they support the whole mission. But what they do is they help plan and participate member-only happy hours, the State of the IP, this event, and bringing new members into the group and making sure that we all know what's happening. And so we definitely need people to help us. People who might be good at communication, who might want to be part of the happy hours and some of the special events that we're doing. We also have the Community Engagement Committee, and I believe Pastor Tommy, I think this is his committee that he's a part of here. And basically what the idea in the Community Engagement Committee is, these are the people who are trying to make sure that we engage the entire community. That this is not just something for the people who are the business people here in town. That this is something that is for every single person who works here, who does business here, and also lives here. So they connect organizations and agencies, they have monthly meeting, and they make sure that the residents benefit from the transformation of the district. The reason I got involved here, and you know, in my company there's a few of us, there's a bunch of EDCs and a bunch of alliances. I picked this one to be involved in because this was the only one where I heard they weren't trying to just do business. They wanted to do business in such a way that the people who live here are lifted up and not moved out. Because I do not want to be a part of anything that is moving people out and just, I live in Seminole Heights. I am part of the problem. But we need to make sure that this is something that brings everybody up in this community, and this group does that. Development and Funding Committee. We've talked about the 501c3 that we've got, but all of these things take money, and they take long-term strategies to make sure that they have staff, that they make sure that they have the opportunities to get the things done that we need to get done. And we really have a need for people who might have the ability to either ask for money or give insight into how to ask for money and how to engage opportunities with grant writing and things like that to support the staff as they try to do it. So I'd really encourage, if somebody has that ability, to please think about that themselves. And then you can see in there, these are all in that little brochure you have. Communications Committee. Again, people who know how to communicate and know how to get words on paper in such a way that people get engaged with what we're doing. Not just the members, but also the community. That is one of the things. The Innovation Gathering. How many of you have been to the Innovation Gathering that we do okay, a lot of you. Great event. It is right now extremely staff-led. And the staff puts in a lot of effort and a lot of hours to get that thing done. And what we need is to make sure that they're not the only ones doing it. Some of us are really good at coming early and helping set up, and some of us are really good at staying a little late and helping tear down. Some of us are good at helping make sure stuff gets done. That is a great way to get involved. And the thing that would be cool about this, my committee, we meet year-round. This committee meets for a short amount of time and gets things done, and then they get to see the fruits of their labor once a year, and that's kind of exciting. Tech hire, we've been hearing about it. They need help to make sure this happens. If you have a passion about that type of thing, if you're interested in internship or tech training, is your business able to provide internship opportunities? This is one that you can help committee-wise with that, but also if you're interested in ways that you can be involved, or your company can be involved, or you could be a mentor or a volunteer, just make sure that we know about that. And we're going to tell you a really easy way. We're going to make it really easy for you to tell us. And then 3 other ways. Mort Community School Committee. Mort is a school that does yeoman's work. They are the school in this area that is taking kids who are in very hard situations. And they are trying to make sure that they break the cycle of poverty through education. And they need us. They're a community school that cannot do it on their own. And we all have the ability to help them with everything from a reading program to supporting teachers, to bringing pencils. Things like that we can definitely help them with. Love Our City, it just happened. A lot of us were a part of that. And I think that there's a way once a year that you can get your business involved, you can get another social group involved, or you can actually just get involved yourself. And what you do there is you just come and you volunteer for a few hours, get a nice t-shirt, you get to have fun with a lot of different people, and you get to find a way to have a small impact in this community, from everything from going to a laundromat and surprising people with paying for their laundry, to supporting teachers at Mort, to taking care of people's homes. You can do a million different things. And then the last one is we have a back-to-school drives and backpack program that we support. And we definitely need people to help us with drives, to help us volunteer on the days that we're doing them. And we would really encourage you on that too. So those are just some of the ways that you can get involved. But I would just ask before Pastor Christopher comes up here to think about what are you passionate about, and what are the things that you think the things that you're good at also meet the needs that we have here. And again, I know all of you are involved in a lot of different ways, and I'm not telling you this to be the only one you're involved in. Like I said, I can stretch myself thin, but honestly, I really enjoy the work that I'm doing here because I get to see what's happening over the course of the next few months, the next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years. When my kids go off to college or stay at USF, and when they get jobs, they've been in this area since they were 2 or 3 years old going to Jason's Deli. And they know this area really well. And they're going to be able to bring their friends and their families back and say, you won't believe the transformation that has happened here since I was a kid. And you and I can be a part of that. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity and bring up Pastor Christopher.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rick. What I'd like to do really fast is I want to bring up all of the staff of IP really fast. You guys will all come up. And Kelly, you're not on the staff anymore. You've transitioned to another role, but I'm going to invite you to come up too just for a moment, please. Come on up on the stage. Come on up. Where did Mark go? Oh, okay. He had another meeting, huh? Rebecca, come on up. You can't tell the pastor no in the church. Yeah, Bonnie and I were joking earlier. We know who the Baptists and the Presbyterians are in the audience based on the people that are sitting in the back over here with all of the empty seats that we have up here. So really quickly, I brought these folks up here because they work incredibly hard. Let's give these folks a huge round of applause. And I want to make our last point here tonight with them standing up here. My wife and I were surprised a few months ago when we discovered after 10 years that we were bringing in another little one. And so she's 13 weeks now and is a major blessing to our family. But when she came, I've got 3 other kids, 15, 10, and 9. We had a family meeting. And we basically said, okay, everybody's chores are shifting. Here's what you need to do, and here's what you need to do, and here's what you need to do. And we recognized, based on their previous list of chores, that this was going to stretch some of them. And so we're now about 2 months, 2.5 months into that new rhythm. And incredibly, everybody has jumped on board and has an amazing attitude about it and is loving their new chores, right? I couldn't have asked for anything better because we knew it was going to stretch them. But it was necessary because of the growth. Everybody say growth, right? So I'm a preacher, so I get to say things like that, right? So because of the growth, everybody had to change duties and responsibilities. Daddy had to get up a little bit earlier, maybe stay up a little bit late. Mommy is doing new things, and brothers and sisters are doing new things. Well, IP is experiencing growth. And these folks had chores and have chores that they've been doing. But now you are a part of the family. That's why we said what we said earlier, right? You believe, right? And then you ultimately move into behaving. You cannot be a part of a family and not do something. And so I want to invite you guys today, and I want to challenge you. And for some of you, it's going to stretch you because here's the reality. Many of you are a part of organizations where it's great for you to be a part of it. You go to a lot of meetings, you do a lot of networking, and you walk out of the door, and that's it. But you haven't behaved with that organization yet. Here at IP, because of the growth that we're experiencing, and as Rick talked a little bit about on the tail end of his talk, this is really about changing a culture, changing a community. because we could easily let some policies come up and everybody goes their own separate ways. But now that we're growing, these folks need all of our help. So I want to invite everybody, please pull this up really quick. It's on your chair when you came in. You're sitting next to one, or you've already looked at it. There is a tab on the right-hand side of that. This is a clear call to action. This is a family meeting. This is a family meeting. Rick, he's like the dad, right? This is a dad. You're young, but nobody listens to the dad? Well, they listen to the dad at my house. So I want to invite you just for a moment, and we can really make this really empowering and play some music and all of that stuff, but this is not like that. This is a serious moment. Invite you to ponder, where do you fit in? What's your passion? What's your gifts? What's your talents? What's your abilities? What's your network? What's your Rolodex look like, or your phone contacts? Where can you specifically plug in? And that's the clear call to action from our brief family meeting here. I want to invite everybody, just take a few moments really fast. Look through the list of opportunities where you can serve and engage. Check one of those boxes, and then Ms. Bonnie is going to give us some instructions on how we're going to pick these up or how we're going to receive these. Yep, okay. And please make sure that you think hard about it. Please don't leave without filling out one of these boxes and jumping in to be a part of the family. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Bonnie.
Yeah, just fill those out, and there'll be a couple of people at the door that will pick those up for you. But before we go, Cambria and I, get the prizes. Oh, Kelly, would you help? We draw a card. We have some door prizes. The first one is Dwayne Davis. And what does he win, Cambria? 2 guest passes to Studio Movie Grill. Our next winner is going to win 2 passes to Busch Gardens. Avril Stinson, yay! And we have 2 more passes to Studio Movie Grill. Kimberly Weisgarber, yay! Next, we have 2 more passes to Busch Gardens. The wine festival is still going on. Who is it? Rebecca! Yay, Rebecca! And our last prize is Fred Astaire dance lessons. You didn't put your card in? No. Okay. Lee Bell. He's perfect. Everyone, thank you so much for coming, and thank you for your participation, and we look forward to seeing you at more of our events, networking, and gathering opportunities. Thanks a lot. Bye. I know Kelly's like, she won't even take it.